All right, good Sunday evening to everybody. It says we're live. I believe we're live, and it's time to rock and roll and do a little Raiderland Rewind. Brought to you by Thacker Jewelry. Here in the Arctic Air Studios tonight, we're going to recap Texas Tech and Kansas State 38-21. A freshman quarterback running all over the Red Raiders on Saturday night. It's time to get your thoughts. It's time to get your feedback. What did you see? What did you think you saw? And what do you think needs to happen from here? All of that coming your way tonight. The early arrivals, you know what to do. It's just like the daily broadcast. You give us hearts, you give us thumbs up, you let us know the audio is good, the video is good, and then we get on down the road. Also, if you want to, you can share it. You can put it out there on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter X, on wherever it is that you may be watching. Invite some friends in and let's talk a little football this evening as we recap the weekend with you here on Raiderland Rewind, presented by Thacker Jewelry. All right, we'll let a few more folks get in. You know what to do. The early arrivals. If you are on YouTube and Twitter, use the United Supermarkets text line 806-772-0197. That's how we get your feedback. If you're on X, if you're on, well, it sounds like if you're on drugs, if you're on X, if you're on YouTube, that's how we see your comments. So just like the radio show, use the text line. Brought to you by your tailgating headquarters at United, 806-772-0197. It's right there on the screen. It's easy to use. We want to hear from you. John's in, Cameron's in, folks making their way in. I think we got enough people to get this thing going. Shall we? I believe we shall. In 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, theraiderland.com. That's where you start your day. The question of the day, maybe it was our column, 5 things we know on a Sunday that you read. I'm still waiting for some more recommendations on great chili spots in the Lubbock, Texas, USA vicinity. That was number 3 on 5 things we know. It was one thing we didn't know. Who makes the best chili? I could eat winter schnitzel chili every day and be a happy man. So you check that out every day. We also have 60 seconds of Raiderland, new commentary we're doing for you, sports, entertainment, politics, and everything in between. Main thing, you need to hit the website every day, theraiderland.com. We're in the Arctic Air Studios tonight. If your air is a little too Arctic in the coming days, you need to call the Bear, locally owned and operated. Veteran owned, my man Shane, give him a holler. And of course, this is Raiderland Rewind. Your thoughts, your comments, your questions following Texas Tech's 38-21 loss to Kansas State. Thacker Jewelry, Lubbock legend, celebrating 50 years. Every great story starts at Thacker's. Let's do it. What do you think tonight? We've got a lot to unpack from the game. I have learned that if we can't do this broadcast before 10 o'clock on a Saturday night, it's usually hampered by people not getting in. So I think we have determined that the Sunday evening recap is a lot more constructive, a lot better. More people are able to get in, better discussion and everything else. So we go through the game and we go, okay, what happened? What didn't happen? Obviously, the injury to Morton, that was exacerbated by a couple of hits he took there in the first half. You saw the hits, we saw him. He took one on the sidelines where he came down on his chest. I thought this can't be good. And it turned out to not be good. Enter Jake Strong. But there's so much more to this game than that. There was the freshman Avery Johnson making his debut for Kansas State, looking like Michael Jordan in a Missouri uniform in 2003. Anyway, you get the idea. The play calling, mystifying at times. There's no other way about it. Mystifying. Nonsensical. That this team acted like it was down 3 or 4 scores when they were down a score with a third string quarterback. And we see a week after looking physically dominant against Baylor. The Texas Tech did not look physically dominant against a Kansas State team that's a good team, but certainly not a great team. So we'll get your thoughts tonight. I've got many. Want to hear what you're thinking. What do you think's wrong with this team at 3-4? I wrote last night, best case scenario, this team makes a bowl game. A bowl game from here. That's best case scenario. Based on what I saw last night, the fact that even if Baron Morton comes back out and plays at BYU, Texas Tech favorites going in early line. We'll see. We'll see. So we get your thoughts tonight. Off the United Supermarkets text line, right off the bat. Went and saw The Lion King with my wife instead of the game. I'm glad I did. That game seemed like it was not good. It was not good. How was The Lion King? Was it good? Was it interesting? I saw it on Broadway. Yeah, I'm that kind of guy. I mean, if I can't see a major, touring production on Broadway, I'm probably not going to go see it. I think it's the last thing I've seen on Broadway as well. Is K-State nightmares over? Can I please wake up? No, it's not over. Wendy's chili? No, it doesn't do a thing for me. Still licking K-State wounds, but running out of tongue. There's a lot to unpack in that statement that I'm not going to get into. Alan is watching. Chris is watching. Hi there. Another Chris is watching. He looked like Vince Young. Yeah. Jake Strong was left out to dry by not letting him hand the ball off to Taj 20 times in the second half. So let's start with that. We've known that for the last 2 weeks, going into Houston, going into Baylor, and then this week again, that Baron Morton has been compromised, that he couldn't throw at all in practice going into the Houston game. He took about 50% of the snaps going into the Baylor game. We can assume that he took at least that many, maybe more, maybe less. But it's not like Jake Strong hasn't been out there in practice working with the ones and in a situation where Joey McGuire and Zach Kittley would know that there's a very real possibility that this freshman could end up being QB1 in a heartbeat, that he was the Kamala Harris of the offense. I'll let that sink in for a minute. And when he came out to start the second half, you would have thought, judging from the grab bag of play calling and what happened and what did not happen, that he had been plucked from the stands, unknown to any of the coaches, what he could do, not do, or otherwise, and whether he was prepared or otherwise, or whether there was a game plan that says, insert this game plan. In case of emergency, break glass, run Taj Brooks. Instead, it seemed like it was the other way. In case of emergency, insert Billy Joe Tolliver and throw it for 430 yards against TCU on a fall day in 1985 when Jerry Moore finally woke up and realized, my God, this guy's really good. I should play him. It might save my job. It did not save his job. Nothing that happened there after Strong came in was anything that would indicate to me that they had done a great job preparing him, and in case of glass emergency, break this glass. Enough of the cute plays, Bert. Run the damn ball. It's a good movie. I hate that, all the people involved in the movie seem to hate each other or something now. It's a great movie. Whether Strong had been in or not, it should have been run the damn ball all night long. Whether Strong was in there or Morton was in there. Hi there, Mart. Where's our DL? We'll get to the defense in a minute. Hi there, Charles. David, DL is plugging gaps where the linebackers, I'm not an OC making lots of money, but dang, they just let Strong sink. And you asked for help, they threw an anvil to him, says John. Chris, who knew the former Mavs coach could play quarterback? Yeah, good call, John. Chris, in the past 12 losses to Kansas State, Tech 31, turnovers, KSU 9. Hi, Michelle. Good to see you. Jeff, because Zach Kittley still hasn't figured out what we are. Yeah, Kittley cannot adjust, complete panic. The offensive staff doesn't know what to do with players who don't exactly fit a system. Problem is, hold on, I'm going to do that. Problem is, staff doesn't have a system. Bingo. There's a lot of good comments right there. A lot of good comments. I'm going to go back, though, to the idea of running and running and running. And you're right. This team Taj Brooks has given this coaching staff an identity, and they refuse to accept it. And I thought we saw a turning point last week in Waco. We did not see a turning point. It was an aberration. It was an aberration. And I'm growing weary of light box, heavy box, check to this. We had to run because they did this. Again, bear with me for a moment. Every week, teams line up to defend Patrick Mahomes to throw the ball. Every week, teams line up to defend Travis Kelce from getting the ball. The Chiefs dictate to them that we're going to do this, and they do it anyways. Every week, teams lined up to stop Byron Hanspard. And Texas Tech ran the football, and Byron Hanspard ran for a lot of yards, and you had a really good year. That you ran it anyways. You dictate your will. You oppose your will. You assert what you are, and then you exert, that's EX, what you're going to do. That you cannot continue to do this. We're going to take what they're giving. No, at a certain point you go, Taj Brooks is an NFL running back. We're going to run him all night long. Kansas State told you they were going to run. All night long, Texas Tech lined up to defend the run, although we hear that the run fits were bad and that they didn't line up properly. Yet Kansas State did something, and this is a novel concept that maybe Texas Tech can look at offensively. They blocked. They blocked the play. They put a hat on a hat. They told you they were going to do it, and they did it. Tech can do that. The strength of this offensive line is run blocking. It is not pass protection. It is 100% drop a hand on the dirt and run block. They're pretty good at it. Let them do it. The idea of giving a quarterback freedom is wonderful. As a former signal caller myself, I would have loved the idea of being able to walk up to the line of scrimmage and do whatever I want to. But the fact of the matter is, you have a head coach and you have an offensive coordinator who's making a hell of a lot of money, who's very smart and very good at this. Tell them to run the damn play. You call the play for a reason. Run it. I don't care if it looks like they've got this many hats up there. Quit counting hats and go block hats. Quit adjusting and make them adjust. It can be done. It's done every week. Good teams do it. Now, if you can't do it, then you're not a good team. And if you're not a good team, you're not a good team. But you absolutely gave Strong no chance in hell from the beginning with the play calling selections. And we can go back to the first half of the play calling at the goal line, where you take Taj Brooks out and you run 3 pass plays and you finally get it in on a quarterback sneak. That was a telltale sign. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I can't answer your questions tonight because I don't understand it myself. Okay? I don't get it. And right now, the play calling and some of the nonsensical decisions, like going for it on 4th down when you don't have to, midfield with a quarterback thrust into the game, and that somehow you don't have Taj Brooks on the field and you're going to allow him to throw a 50-50 ball 30 yards downfield. I don't get that either. And those calls are hindering the development of this team and this program right now. And that starts with Joey McGuire, and it extends on to Zach Kittley, and we will get to the Texas Tech defense in a minute. I know we got to back up and catch up all your comments here. All right, so Mark says, is the running back room that big of a drop-off after Taj? No, Cameron Valdez is very good. He's a very good running back. All right? He's a good running back. There's no reason he can't be out there. In fact, Valdez hits the hole in the point of attack, I think, faster in some situations than what Brooks does. Brooks is a little bit different as a running back. Two different styles, 2 good running backs at the college level. Brooks is as good as anybody as waiting and letting a block develop and letting a play develop and getting a lot out of it as opposed to just running into trouble. Brooks sees the field really well, and he sees the blocks and where they're going to go as good as any college back as I've witnessed lately, which is why I like giving him the ball. Let him do that. Valdez hits the point of attack. Quick hitter type plays very good. Ryan, I'll be a contrarian, but Tech can't go far if they don't get the pass game going better. Taj can't do it alone. No, it's not doing it alone, son. It's not doing it alone. But you've got to do something well first. And the first thing you can do well is run the ball. If you want this pass game to do better, run the ball. You can run some play action. You can get some better looks for your passing game. But this is not going to be a pass first team. Couldn't be a pass first team even with Tyler Shuck if he were out there. Tyler Shuck can't make the throws even an injured Morton could make. Jeff, that post-game presser was all excuses, not much accountability. I will disagree there that I have learned McGuire speak. That is my job. And those are reasons. You may not like them. You may think they're excuses, but they are reasons. He gives you the reasoning, X, Y, and Z, why they do it. Now, I may disagree. I'll agree with the premise, and then I'll disagree with what they do after that. But I will say that those are not excuses. He's not an excuse maker. He is a reason giver, which I think is much better because then you can debate the reasoning, the logic, the decision making, and everything else. David, the wide receivers are the worst blocking wide receivers 15 years. So let's run a bubble screen for a loss again. Don't get me started. Holy God, don't get me started on that. First off, it's an incredibly difficult play to run in college. It takes an incredibly strong arm with great technique and release. It's about a half-second differential between that play working and not working. And then it is relying on a 50-50 block to get you 4 yards maybe. Stop running it. Horrible play. I didn't like it in 1985. I don't like it now. I didn't like it in 85 because I threw 3 interceptions off that type of play. 2 pick sixes. The other one, I was able to get in front of the guy, and I couldn't get out of the way, and he ran over me, and he fell down. Alan, when Tech wins, we dictate turns. When Tech loses, they made us do this, or their analytics said do this. Okay, yeah. I think we're kind of on the same page here. But when Tech wins, yeah, you're dictating terms. Off the United Supermarkets text line here on Raiderland Rewind on a Sunday evening. At what point does Tech consider parting ways with Kitley? It would be after this year. McGuire was on a staff down there at Baylor that they ran off their offensive coordinator. It was after year 1 or after year 2 with Rule. I think it was after year 2. Brought in Grimes, had a big turnaround offensively. That it would be at the end of this year that you would see any decisions made on that. Still don't have a wide receiver to count on. I agree. I don't think the wide receivers are that good. Some people disagree with me. I'm waiting. John says, well, wait a minute. You sound like you're going to be part of the crowd that's ready to fire the head coach. I didn't say that. I hold people accountable. I don't know if you're new to my shows, my broadcast, or my 30-plus year history in the media, but I'm just honest. I'm not ready to fire Joey McGuire. Not at all. He is building some things off the field. He is doing some things, but they're going to have to be some growth and some changes. And again, I thought I saw a paradigm shift in Waco on some decision making and some other things, and it went poof. It went poof Saturday night. I felt like there was a level of panic on the Tech sidelines, a level of panic within the program last night watching that game, that again, they operated like they were down 3 or 4 scores when they weren't. Now, maybe Tim DeRuyter had called down to the sideline and said, we are not going to be able to tackle Avery Johnson at all tonight. Chances are he will score 3 or 4 touchdowns with us laying a hand on him. You guys better just throw it every down. I don't think they did that. David says, football is fundamental. Reading is fundamental. Riff. Blocking, tackling, running. Fundamentals. Yep. OC has lost his mind. He must be getting paid extra for every pass thrown, especially when you have McNamara as a weapon. Yeah, the going for it and stuff. Again, thought we had something going in there. Coach, Hall of Fame coach watching now. Clean up your language. Brooks is James Gray. Ooh. Very interesting comparison. Gray was a bigger back. Similar speed. Gray had a vision. James Gray had incredible field vision. Goodness gracious. What James Gray had that Brooks doesn't have is a guy like Irvin Ferris or McDowell, and then a group of fifth-year seniors up front blocking for him. But Gray had a really good downhill running game, and he got to play for Dick Winder as an offensive coordinator. Dick Winder was one of the most creative, I think, one of the most creative I formation offensive guys that I ever watched do stuff out of the eye with a fullback, with what we would have called a flanker, however you want to call that back, moving him around in and out. Just a really creative offense. Dick Winder could curse in a manner that was both colorful and anatomically correct all at the same time. Brooks, I'm trying to liken him to, again, I just go back to the way he sets up blocks. The way he allows a block and a play to develop. I truly think high school coaches should show that to their young running backs and say, watch this. Watch as the hesitation. We always yelling at guys to get upfield. But sometimes just a little bit, wait. Don't run into the line. It's going to move. Wait for it. Then you go. And that's one of those things that you may not ever be able to coach. That is endemic inside a running back. They either have it or they don't. It's just like quarterback. I think God touches kids in the cradle, in the crib, and says, you get to be a quarterback and a good one, and you don't. He did not do that to me. Said this in the first game. Wide receivers can't get separation. Not sure. Well, no, they don't. They do not get good separation. The reason is irrelevant. They don't get separation on their routes. Hi there, Gary. Glad you're watching. Brooks follows blocks like Gray follow blocks. Yeah, there's some similarity to that. What's with the celebration after one good play on a D on first down only get burned the next play? So infuriating. It's called 2023, and it's been that way forever as they come in off the United Supermarkets text line tonight, 806-772-0197. If you're on Twitter, if you're on YouTube Live, use that. That way we can see your comments, your questions, and otherwise tonight on Rewind. 806-772-0197. We'll move away from the offense for a little bit. And I love Tim DeRuyter. He is a great defensive mind. He has been fantastic just about everywhere he is. He creates a great concept game up front, I believe. 2- and 3-man concept games, particularly adept at bringing edge pressure. And I think he's doing just fine at Texas Tech. But the overall 35,000-foot view on this defense right now is every time I think they're turning into a pretty good defense, we have an evening like last night where they can't get off the field on critical third downs, or just they get the hell blocked out of them. And they got the hell blocked out of them last night. They didn't get off blocks. We can talk all we want about run fits and run eyes, pass eyes, and this. And that to me, again, those are reasons. It sounds like Lyle Setensich talking about how my guys need to have 15 starts before they really get it. Nobody wants to hear that. And defense is never as simple as just clear eyes, fast feet, and just go run to the football and make plays. It's never that simple. But hey, that was week 7, and you're not lining up right. You know, at a certain point, it doesn't really matter where you line up. Go make a play, get off a block, shed a block, go make some tackles. And this defense just did not tackle very well. And they didn't tackle well in the first half against Houston. And then it got better, and they tackled well last week against Baylor. And then they didn't tackle well again last night. I mean, that tackling's a lot of want to. A lot of getting there and a lot of want to. And they didn't do it. I need a Burley or two. Man, we're throwing out the 70s references tonight. Good job, kiddos. Are we getting close to losing the fan base for the year? Yep, you sure as hell are. Joey McGuire could have run for office last spring and this summer, and right now, I was telling somebody earlier today, it's been a while since I've seen a fan base turn around this quickly, and the doubting Thomases are out. And yeah, that's why I said last night, this is a season on a brink right now. This is a season on a brink. And again, I think the biggest upside from here, just get to a bowl game. Don't regress, get to a bowl game. John, that's all we wanted to hear. There's too much clickbait coaching on social media, and I'm too old. I don't know what that means. We have so many issues that you just can't fix this one thing. And it may go back to, as we go look at our yellow legal pad of inspiration, brought to you by Thacker Jewelry. Every great story begins with Thacker's. Depth and talent, oversold, underdelivered. That you wanted to believe that this roster, and they're better than what they showed last night. And this team is better than a team that lost to Wyoming and a team that lost to West Virginia. But at the end of the day, also, that I think you wished for a lot of things with this team that just weren't necessarily going to be true. And that's still depth and that's still talent overall. And it's still moderately. Now, it should be given this, again, schedule everything. When I made my preseason prediction, it was schedule, who you're playing, what you're going to do. That it should be better than this. But it is still a moderately 500 or better talented team in depth-wise. Can we get 3 more from here? It's possible. Don't know. I don't know. I can't give you 3 guaranteed. Can't do it. Off the United Supermarkets text line, do we just not have the talent to be a top 4 team in the conference? Apparently, you're seeing the answer that they're not there yet. Apparently so. So what happens now? Donovan's not a great quarterback, but a big athletic quarterback, better than what we have been suiting up. Well, Morton's better than any of them when he's healthy. He hadn't been healthy. The fact that they've played him when he's been unhealthy tells you the gap between him and Strong, as you would expect on a young player. They made the right choice, and the quarterbacks that they kept going into this year have all the respect in the world for Donovan Smith. But no, he does not fit in with what Tech wants to do on a down-by-down basis. He's not a better choice. Who knows? The Big 12 is wild week after week. Yeah, who knows? We can always say who knows. That's always a good answer. Who knows? You should be a weatherman or a economist. Who knows? We won't beat UT, Kansas, and BYU on the road. That's 3 more losses. Yeah. You got 4. That's 5 and 7. Yes, you do. I mean, you got to beat BYU. I think if you're going to go to a bowl, you got to beat BYU. Boy, BYU and the other schools coming into the Big 12 are learning what it's like to do this on a week-by-week basis in a major conference. It ain't easy. Looking to see if we've got any more movement. It opened at 4. Circus 4.5. Westgate's 4.5. There's 1-4 out there. 52 on the total, so a tick up on that. Last year we were 2-game winning field goals away from being 5 and 7, so maybe we are just what we are. Yeah. I'm not a huge believer in the total luck regression deal, but you go to the overtime wins last year. I mean, that can be a coin flip. That can be anything. But you got them. You want them. That's also culture. That's partly culture that you win those things. That's good. Those are good things. But you look at, say, the Vikings, what was it, from a year or so ago, and then you come back and go, you're not going to win all those one-score games. And it's pretty well proven in the NFL that's a big flip, and it usually flips back the other way. And all those tight games last year, well, I mean, last night wasn't a tight game. So we can go back, West Virginia, whatever you want to do on that, Wyoming. Obviously different game scripts, different scenarios. Should win the excusebowl.com this year. That's actually a bowl game. It's actually a bowl game. We're just 5 days away, coming up on Friday morning on the Hallmark Channel. Christmas movies start. Yeah. Yeah, Christmas at the Castle. I think one of the first ones up there. Tech 4-5 last year. They won out. Got to find a way to turn around again. I don't know what that way is, quite frankly. Baron Morton is injured. And if he comes back, he's still going to be injured. Strong, you're not going to win a lot of Big 12 games with him right now. Sorry, you're just probably not going to win a lot of Big 12 games with him at quarterback. That if you're rolling him out at BYU, it's compromised offense. Kansas State is our new Missouri. We cannot beat them either. Yeah, several college coaches apologizing for bad decisions this weekend. Poor choices bad. Yeah, Oregon. What are you doing, Oregon? What are we thinking there? Huh? Lanny, what are we doing? Said the loss to Washington, 100% on him. He's got a good, solid contract. That's what coaches that have good contracts say, by the way. This is all on me. You say that when you have a good contract. Thank God Houston beat West Virginia. If no, we have the honor of being the first to lose to a new team coming in, BYU. Yeah, none of the new teams have beaten anyone until Houston, and I almost don't consider Houston being a part of that group, but they are obviously. Yeah, that's the difference in gearing up for it every week. The depth, the talent it takes to do this every week. Donovan Smith was critical in the season being 7-5. Yeah, he was. If his quarterback's not staying healthy, an indictment on the play calling? No. David is watching. And at some point, you got to play football. You got to go play football. And sometimes you're going to be pressured and you're going to have to run, you're going to have to scramble, and you're going to get hit. I mean, otherwise, then you could have put Strong in and just run the ball literally every time, and that would have been interesting. But no, the quarterback staying healthy, not staying healthy, that's college football right now. That's football right now. He doesn't need a medical red shirt. He has the ability to come back for another year if he wants to, as far as I understand it. That's just football now. Quarterbacks get hurt. Very few teams go through a year now at the college level without their starter missing a game due to injury. It's just more often than not, you're going to have at least one game where your starter's not going to be able to go. And when it's your team, you feel like it's hyper focused on your team and that, it's our bad luck or we're doing something. No, that's just the nature of the game right now. It's just the way it works. Hey, Damon. Shuck, my advice to Shuck would be to heal up, do pro days, go to try to get an invite to NFL camp, pro days camp. What the hell? Why can I not come up with a term? Combine. Thank you. How late in the day is it? I would try to go to the combine as healthy as possible because he is a workout warrior and he looks great doing that. And he'll be throwing to really good receivers. And that's what I would do if I were him. And then I would go have a great 10-year career as a backup quarterback and start about 10 games in 10 years. The fan base will go nuts in a bad way if he comes back. I don't think he's going to come back to Tech. I think next year that ship is definitely sailed one way or the other. No, it's not green, white, checkered because it's Raiderland Rewind coming to you from the Arctic Air Studios, brought to you by Thacker Jewelry. Every great story begins at Thacker's. No, there are no time frames on Raiderland Rewind, so it's impossible to have a green, white, checkered. Much like it was impossible to have a green, white, checker there. The South Point 400 in Vegas today with Kyle Larson going for the win, holding off Christopher Bell. Boy, Bell made up a lot of ground those last two laps. Can we not get some lap traffic to roll over a little bit for Larson? Man. In a race that was about as exciting as me washing socks and towels. God bless NASCAR. Lucy works some NASCAR into the 5 things we know in a Sunday column at theraiderland.com. You think Will Hammond is QB2 next year? Who knows? I mean, I think if Strong's here and Morton's here, then he's probably 3. Josh's ALCS MVP, why not? Why not? Because it's the year of the Red Raider, and it's not going to be in the ALCS. It's going to be in the World Series. So that game 1 with the Astros and the Rangers gets underway here in just 10 minutes or so. See how that plays out. All right, so I mean, I think I pretty much hit on everything I want to hit on. It's up to you guys from here. I'll take questions, comments, and your thoughts. Fire away. Get on the United Supermarkets text line, 806-772-0197. I am delaying me settling in, and I'm going to have a giant bowl of gnocchi, chicken gnocchi tonight. Oh, wife cooked it up this afternoon. I'm going to have a big old bowl of that and probably just go to sleep early. But yeah, if you're on Twitter, if you're on YouTube, use that. Off the United Supermarkets text line, we need significant upgrade on the line. Yeah, this offensive line's got to continue to get better. Sign 5 every year. Bring them in. Bring in a minimum of 5 offensive linemen every year. Get big guys. Get strong guys. Get fast guys. Get guys with attitude. And by the way, I think it's a shoulder injury, upper body, and that's the nature that you're going to get out of them on that. And this offensive line can run block. That's what's so frustrating to me. They can run block. They can go up against a 7-man, 8-man box, and they can run block. And Taj Brooks can get you. I would have understood having to throw it so much if, man, we just kept running it and they kept stopping it. And they just took away Brooks and, it just wasn't going anywhere. And we just, hey, it was just one of those nights. Somebody finally lined up and took it away from us. He averaged 5.8 yards a carry. He averaged 6.1 rush yards a carry. That's inflated by the 54-yarder by Strong. Hi there, option. When you run block, you don't get the quarterback lit up. No, you don't. I could have understood it all if they could have pointed to the chart on the analytics and said, when we average 5.8 yards a carry, we can't run it. Take his headset away, Joey. Not going to do it. And again, I thought we really saw something down there in Waco, and it was a blip now. And when we circle all the way back around, this coaching staff refuses to have an identity offensively. That all the talk about complementary football and all the talk about this and that, it boils down into a grab bag of, well, how many guys are up front on the defense? Well, then that's what we kind of did. We're going to utilize the tight end, except for when we don't. We're going to, I don't know, trying to be nice. Teased us in Waco. Nobody likes a tease. Should have tried that option a few more times, better than throwing INTs. Yeah. What is Kitley's background other than being a good old boy? Highly successful offense coordinator at Houston Baptist in Western Kentucky. Coached at Texas Tech with Cliff Kingsbury. That was his tutelage. Coached a NFL quarterback in Bailey Zappi. And he's tall. So I hate that because sometimes, they get pictures of it and it makes your players look small and you got to go, no, our offense coordinator is incredibly tall. It's really on the defense. Allowed Goldilocks to run for 5 Ts. Oh, yeah, we got to the defense too. But we talk complementary football as well. But yes, the defense, as we said, every time I want to make this defense good, they give me what happened yesterday. Will Burns, somebody asking, do we have a backup to Strong on the United Supermarkets text line? Will Burns, and then you got a couple of receivers. Burns was the shortstop middle infielder for baseball. He's been a two-way player since he came to Texas Tech. And then you got a couple of guys who played quarterback in high school, or I would maybe just go Wildcat after that or something. If it gets to that point, it really doesn't matter. Let's just be honest. Just bad all around. Hard times in the land of plenty. Some folks got it all. Some folks ain't got any. All right, last chance to fire away a couple of questions. As the gnocchi is calling me. Let's not let special teams off the hook, running kickoffs out of the end zone. Seriously, the worst thing that can happen to a team is returning a kickoff out of the end zone 3 to 4 yards deep for a touchdown in one game. But yes, I am still of the opinion that 99% of the time, just take the fair catch, start at the 25. Take the fair catch, start at the 25. You know? I'm going to go enjoy some dinner. Yes, I am. All right. We got to say goodbye first to the folks on Twitter and on YouTube. It asks us, do we want to end this stream? Yes, in the stream. Okay, we're doing that.